We're on your side with how cold we're expecting it to get over the weekend and if we broke record high temperatures today.
And we're taking you around the world to places rebuilding today after devastating earthquakes.
Plus, we're headed beyond the atmosphere as we learn about the latest happenings in space and new records set for our friends on the International Space Station.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And so glad to have Tania and Lauren back here with us for Weather Extra. How about a little snow?
Ooh, where at?
Well, this was in Sioux Falls, and Tyler Roney there, actually with one of our sister stations in the area, shared some of this video last night and put it in slow motion just to kind of tease us there with a little snow.
It's actually so peaceful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, right here at Christmas time, you know, I mean, 75 degrees today. Did you crank up the AC?
I did.
And then you got to turn on the heat a little bit tonight. Maybe a little.
Yeah. I didn't intentionally do it. I just noticed today. I said, hey, the AC's on, right? It was just that kind of day.
Yeah, I have to have the AC on at night, otherwise
No, me too.
I can get real mean.
Keep it cool.
Yes, keep it cool.
Well, listen, tonight it's time to adjust the thermostat again because it just keeps on changing, and we're talking about lows tonight, taking a big tumble down into the 40s, one of the next big things. We're still tracking a little bit of rain here on Weather Extra. Let me show you where as we go over to First Alert AccuTrack radar, and a couple showers now pushing through Tuscaloosa County around Foster's and crossing not far there from Ralph. And if this holds together, some of this may reach us over around Big Sandy and Inglewood, Menor Estates. You can see there along Highway 69 South, my friends there around the Taylorville area, but not much to that. And also you can see a couple showers trying to hang on across Aniana and Rosa here in Blount County. Just a few sprinkles you may encounter. It looks like Altoona, maybe a brief shower for us passing by, but this is falling apart. And you know, the good news is we didn't have any severe storms today, and a lot of times when you're in this time of year and you go from mid 70s to a big drop in temperatures, sometimes we can have some active weather. That did not happen today. Although it was breezy, the temperatures are tumbling, and tomorrow morning when you step outside, it's back to mid to upper 30s for areas to the north, so you will need that jacket early in the day. You can see 40s for areas further south, but there is going to be quite the chill there to kick things off for tomorrow, but we will be above freezing. I'm not worried about the freezing temperatures tomorrow. In fact, for the rest of the day, if you want to do a little holiday shopping, maybe you're hitting the road doing some traveling for the holidays, you can see coming up at 3 o'clock we have 50s tomorrow, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Tania is going to talk a lot more about that travel forecast coming up, but low temperatures for this weekend down into the 20s for overnight lows. So Saturday morning, that's when you need to be prepared for freezing conditions. So Friday night before you head off to bed, make sure all those plants are in. Make sure you have the faucet covers on this weekend. Freezing temperatures, even a light freeze into Christmas Eve there around 31 degrees. But one of the next big rain chances that we do see arrives on Wednesday, Christmas Day of next week. So I'll be talking more about that coming up. Right now, let's go back over to Lauren.
Hey, Wes. Well, we were talking about just how warm it was today, but did we end up breaking any record highs? So let's see what the record highs were for today's date. In Birmingham, 76, set back in 1984. 1984, obviously a hot day on December 18th, because also set the record high in Tuscaloosa and Anniston, 78 and 76 degrees respectively. So did we break the record high? No. We didn't. We did not end up breaking the record high. Instead, you can see here, we only hit 75 in Birmingham, only 76 in Tuscaloosa, and only 75 in Anniston. Whatever, who cares? It was still warm, right? Honestly, it felt pretty good outside, but that's not the kind of weather we want before Christmas. Honestly, though, where do we stand in terms of this time of the year? So today, let me double check. It's December 18th, a week out till Christmas. Let's look at December 15th, 20th. Generally, the high temperature in mid-December should be at 56, 57 degrees. So we're already running almost 20 degrees above that today. But as you may have noticed, we've got a first alert for a cold front coming through. So a little bit of weather whiplash this week before Christmas. We'll continue to talk about that next cool down coming up in a bit. And though, Tania, you may have had those short sleeve shirts on like you've got on right now. Some people have had them tucked away over the past couple of days. You probably want to pull them back out.
Oh, yeah. Bring out the long sleeves along with that heavy coat, because listen, it is getting a lot colder out and about as we approach the weekend before Christmas. But hey, some of you have been asking for colder temperatures, so we're bringing them for you, right? Here's a look at that travel forecast tomorrow, though. Let's walk through this. We're going to see dry conditions for your Thursday here down the southeast. If you're moving up further north, maybe through the Midwest, you might encounter some snow. And if you're going up towards the Pacific Northwest, well, you might encounter some rain and maybe even some flurries. Here we are looking into the weekend. Saturday, well, we're looking still dry across the area, really across the southeast. So if you're traveling anywhere from Texas to Georgia, looking pretty good as far as the forecast. But if you have plans this weekend, you really want to warm up. If you're going to be here across central Alabama, and many areas are going to be trending a lot colder. Saturday morning, 20s and 30s, bring out that heavy coat and hold on to it throughout the day. Saturday afternoon, 30s and low 40s. And then by the evening, we'll see those 20s and 30s back around. And really, when I say 20s, I'm talking about those overnight temperatures into your Sunday morning. Another cold start early Sunday. So here's a quick look at that Sunday forecast. Not much different. We could be a little bit warmer Sunday afternoon, maybe a few low 50s in the forecast. And then by your Sunday evening, trending 30s and 40s with overnight temps in the 30s, bringing in early next week. So no matter what you're doing this weekend, bring out those extra layers, maybe crank on the heat. But we'll continue to give you updates on that weekend forecast in just a bit. I really want to take a break now and take you around the world to places where significant earthquakes happened over the past couple of days. The first one being in Vanuatu, which struck on Tuesday as a powerful magnitude 7.3 and damaged multiple buildings, including the United States Embassy in Port Vila. Tsunami warnings were issued but later canceled.
And back here at home, people across Ohio also experiencing an earthquake earlier this week. Bailey Tucker has the latest on this and how the community of Lawrence County are reacting.
The U.S. Geological Survey verified that a 3.3 magnitude earthquake occurred in the tri-state, the epicenter located just 3 kilometers, almost 2 miles, northwest of Chesapeake, Ohio. While those living in the tri-state felt the earth move, Lawrence County Safety Management Director Michael Boster says this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah, there have been numerous earthquakes in the tri-state in the past, smaller magnitudes. I don't know how this one compares to a lot of the other earthquakes that we've had, but in southeast Ohio, it's not unusual to have a small earthquake or a tremor from time to time.
The shakes visible on highway cameras and Ring doorbells as it occurred. Most people we spoke to didn't seem to understand what was happening at the time.
Well, I was sitting on the couch and I felt like a bomb went off over the top of my house. The whole ground shook, my whole building shook. I ran outside. My neighbors said their houses were shaking.
We were just sitting at the table eating dinner, and our first thought was that something had exploded, like when one of our neighbor's house or something at the refinery in Catlettsburg. It felt more like an explosion. We didn't think it was an earthquake at first.
Before they knew it, it was over.
10, 15 seconds. It wasn't long. At least what we felt wasn't long.
Boster says despite not being the strongest quake experience in the region with no injuries or damage reported to emergency responders, it was definitely prevalent.
When I felt the tremor, I did get up and move to the outside, which is one of the things you should do, and check for any damages.
Across the river in Huntington, Linda Blau says this was a first for her.
So I put on our Facebook page, I was like, did anybody else just feel like a boom and like a shaking? And they were like, yeah, there was an earthquake. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Blau says she could have seen it coming though, considering the location of her home.
I always jokingly tell him that we're on a fault line and we should get earthquake insurance. And I'm like, see, I told you.
Well, coming up, we're not the only ones getting ready to celebrate the holidays. The stars are joining in on the action, too. We talk about the newest image from NASA and other space phenomenon in 30 seconds.
Well, coming up this weekend, we have some parades happening. One parade happening in Shelby County, the Chelsea Christmas Parade on Saturday. Notice the temperature's a lot colder there, 10 a.m. 39. So a chilly day, but we will have some sunshine out there for this weekend. And also a big parade that's happening, and this is a cool one to check out. This is at Rock Run in southern Cherokee County, and it's going to start at 2 o'clock. This is just north of Piedmont, but chilly conditions out there. Also mostly sunny sky, north wind at 5 to 10. The one thing Friday and the Saturday, this next surge of colder air, I do think the winds are going to pick up out of the north, so it could be quite breezy there by Friday night and into the early morning hours on Saturday. But we'll talk a lot more about your weekend. I'll also be back to show you the 10-day forecast.
Well, Wes, now beyond the atmosphere, where the cosmos appear to be getting ready for the holidays. NASA releasing this new image today of a nearby star cluster that resembles a space wreath. Oh my goodness! It's called NGC 602, and it's in the small Magellanic cloud galaxy, which is just a short 200,000 light years away from Earth. The data was taken from the Chandra X-ray Observatory and a previously released image from the James Webb Space Telescope.
Tania, I want you to go back and read all that 5 times faster, though. And in the coming days, a new mission will be setting up to go to, get this, the sun. Meteorologist Megan Thomas talked with an expert from NASA about this mission and what they're hoping to bring back.
On December 24th, so Christmas Eve, NASA's Parker Solar Probe will be coming within 3.8 million miles of the sun's surface. And at its closest point to the sun, the Parker Solar Probe will be traveling at 430,000 miles per hour, making it the fastest moving human-made object in history. That is blazing hot. Parker Solar Probe's heat shield will be facing temperatures over 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit, but keeps the spacecraft at room temperature. I'm now joined with Dr. Alex Young, who is an astrophysicist from NASA. And Doctor, we are just days away from a historic moment. Can you tell us about the NASA spacecraft that will make history by, quote unquote, touching our star?
Well, Parker Solar Probe was launched in August of 2018, and it's actually something that's been in development since 1958. This is an amazing achievement of engineering, and we will be flying through the atmosphere of our star, the sun, experiencing unbelievably hostile environment, and we will be measuring it up close and personal for the first time at this kind of distances. It's just a phenomenal feat, and I'm so excited for it.
It truly is, because some of my grad school work actually had to do with solar flares and how it correlates with, hurricane development. Will this, I know this may be a little bit off topic, but will this give us a better insight? I mean, because we can't necessarily just stick a thermometer in the sun, what's it going to help us do?
Well, it does. I mean, we've been studying the sun for decades up very far away with what we call remote sensing, with pictures, with images, which has given us amazing data, but there's only so much you can learn. And, sometimes you've got to go across the room and take your thermometer and measure things directly. And that's what we're going to do with the sun. And this is giving us information about how energy flows up through the sun's atmosphere and creates the environment that's actually generating solar flares, huge explosions of material called coronal mass ejections, all of this stuff that can impact us here. We've seen it directly with the aurora, which many people, including in Alabama, have seen. And this is important for us because it impacts our technology, it impacts our people in space, and it's going to help us understand this phenomena in a way that we never have before.
Wow, that is incredible information. And while we stay beyond the atmosphere, a new milestone in outer space. 2 Chinese astronauts have broken the record for the longest spacewalk, lasting 9 hours on Tuesday. That beats the previous record of 8 hours and 56 minutes set by a pair of U.S. astronauts in 2001. Ooh, I'm smelling a little healthy competition. A spacewalk is when an astronaut leaves the spacecraft while in space in order to work outside the vehicle and perform various experiments. They wear a pressurized spacesuit and they're tethered to the spacecraft for safety. Well, don't go anywhere. We continue to talk about the chilly temperatures in the coming days and share your weather photos submitted through the WBRC First Alert Weather app. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra, and I was noticing still a couple of sprinkles on the camera here at Reform. We've had a couple of showers moving through Pickens County. Temperature right now at 58 degrees, so a little bit of rain still out there. Radar not showing much, but again, it could be a couple of areas where we have some drizzle left over, but most of the rain is falling apart out there for tonight. And it looks like overnight low temperatures are going to tumble into the 40s. We'll stay above freezing, but take note, Coleman down to 52. Here in Hamilton, we're down to 51, so certainly feeling that chill around Hackleburg, Hamilton, and it looks like overnight tonight we could see some 30s in areas to the north, but we'll stay above freezing, so don't worry about a deep freeze happening tonight, but you'll need the jacket again in the morning. It's back to winter attire there to start the day. Cold conditions during the day. We'll have sunshine, afternoon highs in the 50s, so not a bad afternoon. The wind will be north tomorrow at 5 to 10, but that north breeze is going to increase, become possibly quite gusty into Friday evening as we have the next surge of colder air moving in, but dry the next couple of days, noticeably cooler. The freezing conditions will come back for this weekend. As we look ahead to next week, though, the next chance for rain, it looks like perhaps around Christmas Day. Here's a look at some of the model guidance, and just to show you, I want to step aside, and I pulled up some of this data, and I want to kind of take this out. Let me see if I can load up some of this data. We'll take it out a little bit further. I want to go to the 27th, and let's take it. I'm going to take it frame by frame and just show you. This is from the American model, and the new data showing that more into the day on Wednesday. You see the chance for showers. That's around 2 o'clock during the afternoon on Christmas. But we hang on to maybe a few scattered showers as we go into Thursday and next week. We get in this pattern, and you can see there we have some leftover rain, that a few scattered showers that could happen. There's the 27th and in towards the 28th. We're going to have to watch this because at some point later next week we could see a risk for some stronger thunderstorms. So as we sort of look beyond the 7-day forecast, that's one thing I'm concerned about there towards the end of next week that we'll be watching. But as we go to the 10-day forecast, again, you can see right now we've bumped up the rain chance to 40% on Wednesday. Tuesday during the day looks dry, but you check the weather app, you'll see a 30% chance of rain. That applies to the overnight for Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. But again, models are still signaling, and we've been seeing this for several days. One thing I look for is a lot of consistency, and the data has been suggesting past few days that we could see rain on Christmas, so that hasn't changed. 59 degrees, and then we continue to warm up back into the mid-60s. Here we go. We're at 75 today, just a degree from tying a record high. We're back to 28 Sunday morning. We're back up to near 70 towards the end of next week. And again, towards the end of the year, it looks like those unseasonably mild conditions, and again, the chance for some rain showers and storms. But we're all over it, and we will certainly keep you well informed as we fine-tune that forecast in the long range. But right now, we're headed to Ohatchee, heading over to Calhoun County, and today, meteorologist Megan Thomas was visiting Ohatchee for part of their annual health fair, and she had a great time speaking with all of those in attendance today. You can see a lot of smiling faces and a lot of waves there, and quite the group. Megan had quite a crowd there, and great to see a lot of goodies there too as well, it looks like, Tania. But I know they're all excited. A big Christmas holiday coming up next week, and certainly great to get out and see you. And we certainly thank Megan as well for visiting Calhoun County. But right now, I talked a little bit about beyond the 7-day. I was telling Tania a few moments ago as I stepped out of the house today, it's right when the gusty winds associated with the cooler air was reaching us. Leaves all over the place, but I couldn't help but listen and hear leaf blowers out there today. So tomorrow, probably a better day to clean up leaves.
Yeah, the winds are coming back though Friday. It's going to be a pretty breezy day as we close out the week. But let's take a look here at our precipitation outlook. Below average precipitation for our very southern southwestern states. This is above average rainfall for much of the U.S. Every area that you see highlighted in green here, and that includes us here across the southeast, at least portions of Alabama, Mississippi, and even Georgia, and more near average for the East Coast, the southern portions of the East Coast. As we look at our temperature outlook, though, all across the United States, pretty much seeing above average temperatures December 26th to January 1st. So we should be looking very, very warm bringing in the new year. And when I mean warm, I mean warmer than where we typically are around this time of the year. So our average low is in the 30s. Average high is probably in the 50s, 40s or 50s. So we'll be trending slightly above that as we approach the end of this month and the start of the new year. So if you have any plans, well, this weekend you'll need that heavy coat, but maybe heading into January 1st and 2025, you might be able to ditch it a little bit. But coming up in just a bit, we'll be taking a look at your lovely weather photos, and we'll have a final goodbye and a look at that 7-day. So stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back after the break.
And let's take a final look at those weather photos you've been sending in. Ooh, I love this one. A night on the farm from Leanne Blair. Gives almost summer or winter solstice vibes. Not summer.
You can see the fog there in the distance too.
Beautiful.
This one from Ryan Carty. Shelf cloud over Birmingport.
Yeah, some interesting cloud photos today.
That's pretty.
We had a couple rainbow pictures out there.
Oh.
That's news to me. Well, look
too.
at these clouds from Coleman, sent in from Felicia Bailey. Yeah, some ominous views to those clouds, but hey, no severe weather.
Wow, look at that one.
Almost
Adam.
has a look as you guys have you've heard of undulatus.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it kind of looks like there. You see there's a roll cloud sometimes. There we go. That was Adam Stuckey shared those clouds from Coleman, and David Cole sharing us a rainbow from Trustful. So we did have, been a little while since we've seen a rainbow.
I know.
It has been
It's
a
been
while.
since we've seen any kind of storm-like clouds at all.
Right.
It was nice to see them today, and
That's
nice
cool.
that there was no severe weather. It was just
Yes.
passing rain.
That's the one thing. I mean, if there's a good thing about today, we did not have severe weather. When you see these temperature changes like this, it can be a kind of an active time of the year, but not a lot of rain for areas to the south. I mean, I know for some of us to the south, we're saying what rain, and we did have some showers to the north. Still just a couple sprinkles left over, but we're trending drier and a lot colder.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's going to be sunny though, so you'll at least get some sunshine Thursday afternoon, but we'll start to feel a little chill in the air over the next couple of days.
I know we were talking about having our ACs on, but I'm like, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna pull the trigger
pull the
tonight and turn
heat?
the heat back
I don't know
on?
about tonight. Maybe not
just
tonight.
let it kind of sit for a little bit.
Give it a break.
Yeah, it's a gradual change. I mean, we were looking at the temperatures right now. I mean, we're still showing 59 here on Red Mountain, so it's going to be a slow drop, but out the door tomorrow morning, it's going to feel cold out there, so be ready.
Yeah, bring out the jacket. You'll need it.
All right, hey, we'll see you at 9 o'clock today. I'll see you at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll see you back here as well for Weather Extra, and have a safe evening out there. Be careful, stay warm. We'll see you later this evening.